Hey everybody, welcome to Market Monday. This is where we look at the real estate activity in Worcester County as well as the Delaware Beaches for the past 7 days. It's probably going to be a pretty short video because there's not a ton to report as far as what's happened in this past week. Everything is pretty much fallen within the averages that we would expect to see on a week-to-week basis, except for there is one item in Worcester County that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Well, there's actually two, but they kind of coincide with each other, and I'll go over that. So let's just dive into the numbers for Worcester County. As far as new listings, we had 32 new listings. We had 47 under contract and 26 closed. As you can see, that's +6, -6, and -4. And that's the variable fluctuation that we've been seeing on a week-to-week basis. Kind of goes up, goes down, but remains about those same numbers. So there's not much to report there. As far as inventory, our inventory is still really low. We're at 215. That's all of the properties available in the whole county. We had 215 properties. So still really low. Expect that to remain pretty low. There's not much that's changing that. Price reductions, we had 4. That's been fluctuating about -5 to +5. So we're still within that range. The biggest thing to kind of report here is our median sold price went up by 58% in 1 week. And days on market also went up by 32 days in 1 week. And so that's a huge jump, right? And this is the interesting part about tracking these numbers on a weekly basis, is we get to see what happened this week as compared to last week. If we were to put this in a whole kind of monthly average, that jump is going to be a lot less. And so here's looking into the data, looking into the numbers, here's why I think that happened. And it looks like for the homes that closed last week, there were a fair number of homes that closed in the higher price range. And typically in the higher price range, you're going to see your days on market stretches out quite a bit. And so that may be a lag from homes that had offers that were accepted in December. And that means that, you know, if we were 45 days on market, if you think 45 days out from that, that's still in that kind of slow activity period that we have around the Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So looking at the numbers, it appears that it's some of the higher end homes ended up closing in this past week, and those homes typically will last and they'll stay on the market for a little bit longer. So that's why we have that huge jump up to 58% as far as our median sold price and 32 days on market. That's high above the averages that we've been seeing on a weekly basis. If you're comparing those numbers, we would typically see about $350,000 to $355,000 is our median sold price in Worcester County. And as far as days on market, we're seeing anywhere between 10 to 18 days, kind of depending on what week it is. So we're going to take a look at it next week and see what happens, but I anticipate those numbers to plummet back down and be closer to our averages. All right, so now let's look at the numbers for the Delaware Beaches. Like I said before, everything pretty much is falling within our averages. We had 41 new listings, 50 under contract, and 32 closed. The biggest thing that sticks out to me is we had 17 more under contract in this past week than we did the previous week. So that's on the higher side of the averages, and then we would expect that number at some point to filter down to the closed properties as long as they, work their way through and they go to closing. Inventory, we still remain at about the same level, just like for Worcester County. We don't anticipate to see that jump up a ton. Price reductions, we had 12. That's within the range that we were looking at. Median price, we are exactly the same as last week. Well, not exactly, but very close. And days on market is about the only thing that's really different. It's jumped up by 10 days. It's similar to kind of what happened in Worcester County. I think there's some higher end homes that actually ended up closing, and then there was also some lower end homes that ended up closing. So our median sticks about the same, but those higher end homes jumped up the average as far as your days on market, if that makes any sense. So average days on market jumped up to 18, which is still respectable. Typically what we would see on a week-to-week basis as we've been kind of watching this progress, our average days on market is 12. And so next week, as we take a look at it, I would anticipate that to come back down to about our averages. So to wrap it up here, there's, like I said, not a ton to report. A lot of things fell within the averages that we would expect to see. Biggest thing that stuck out was Worcester County, the median sold price. And once again, the median sold price is you take all the homes that closed within the past 7 days, You stack them up from the least amount to the most amount. And you take the middle one. That's kind of a great way to pick your averages as far as what's out there for sale. So that median sold price jumped up by 58% just in 7 days. And so we're going to take a look at that next week. I anticipate that to come back down, but it'll be something interesting to take a look at. Also, just as a side note, I know I said a couple weeks ago I was going to be putting out some videos as far as inventory, days on market, why we look at those things, some information for first-time home buyers, for investment properties, things like that. Those are all in the works. It's just been a real busy couple weeks, so I haven't got those out yet. But stay tuned. There's going to be a whole bunch of videos coming out. I just don't know exactly what the date is where those are going to be coming out. But other than that, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or give me a call. And I'll see you next week at Market Monday.